Teaching and learning is a complex process. Being a lecturer involves juggling many responsibilities. There is not one way of understanding teaching and learning, no master theory or toolkit, no recipe or 10 tips. Teaching and learning cannot be explained with a few key principles that can be applied across a range of contexts. To navigate this dynamic context, this resource offers you an organizing framework for designing learning, teaching, and assessment. The Delta framework represents the cyclical and iterative process of designing interactive learning activities, innovative teaching approaches, and wide-ranging assessment opportunities. These clickable icons, placed throughout the framework, will take you to other helpful resources. The Delta framework is divided into 5 iterative phases. The first phase refers to the curriculum context. This phase is about ensuring that your teaching practice is responsive to the context. This is about yourself as a teacher, understanding your students, the SU environment, the national HE context, South Africa, and beyond. The next phase refers to outcomes. Outcomes are the end goals of the learning process. They are formulated to describe the result of student learning at the end of the learning opportunities. This is not about content, but rather about the concepts and underlying principles of the field of study. The next phase refers to assessment. Assessment is about how well your students achieve the intended learning outcomes. This is not about students reporting back to you what you have taught them, but rather how well they demonstrate their understandings of the key concepts and underlying principles of their field of study. The next phase refers to design for learning. Learning is about what the students do, not about what you do as the teacher. Your role is to design learning opportunities that engage students and enable them to access disciplinary knowledge. It is important that the outcomes of your module should reflect in the learning opportunities you design for your students and in your assessment tasks. These 3 phases form a cycle of their own called the constructive alignment process. The next phase of the Delta process refers to reflection. And this is where you consider whether you have achieved what you had set out to achieve with your module. This can be done by gathering data and getting feedback from peers, students, professional bodies, employers, and the community. This data will assist you in reflecting on your teaching practice, which you can use to develop your teaching portfolio. This information can also be fed back into deepening your understanding of the curriculum context, which then feeds into a continuing cycle of change and responsive teaching. And so, this resource offers you a guide towards achieving meaningful change in your teaching role at Stellenbosch University.